Yeah. What in the Jaws, Sharknado, Deep Blue Sea kind of movie is this? I mean, I seen some shark movies, I seen some horror films, but this one took me for a loop, y'all. This one was like the Little Shop of Horrors ending for one of the versions. If you ain't seen it, go check it out and you'll know what I'm talking about. Welcome back, y'all, to the DeAndre Way. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to like this video if you like this video, and make sure to become a member today to help support a brother on his journey and whatnot. But we gonna get right into it, y'all. We, well, I watched the movie, new movie on Netflix that came out about a week ago called Under Paris, and whoo, whoo. Look, I saw a shark. I was like, all right, look, I seen some shark movies. We all seen Jaws. Deep Blue Sea is probably my favorite shark movie just because they have the most iconic killing scene I've ever seen until I saw this movie and they kind of duplicated it. And yeah, I mean, this movie was crazy and the ending was unpredictable. I'll give it that. I was not expecting that ending, but it's a lot of silliness and kind of non-realism going on with the whole following the sharks, not wanting to kill the sharks aspect of it. It wasn't my I hate when they act stupid in these horror movies. And they could make a definitely a parody of this movie. That's because how dumb these people were acting by trying to save these sharks and not kill them because they were trying to be like PETA up in here at the beginning of the movie, and then the military came in and said and shut all that down. This movie was it took me for a loop, and we gonna go through the ins, the outs, and the ups and the downs of this, but it was interesting. It was about an hour 45 minutes. I would, if you like horror movies with sharks and whatnot, I guess this is the movie for you. Just to check it out. It was. I'm not a big fan of like the shark CGI they used because the shark would like swim away like it's going like 100 miles an hour. When sharks, I don't think they'd be swimming that fast. And then some of the stuff was just a little like, come on now, like with the people keep being thrown in the water. Like, y'all, come on now. Like, that what we doing really? Every single time I see somebody else getting thrown in the water. It was kind of a lot of repeating things going on and people being dumb by going down into the water trying to fight a shark. I don't know if that's how the game works, but there was a lot of silliness and stupidity going on with the actual characters in this film, and we're gonna digest it all, y'all. Give me one quick second. Yeah, we're gonna digest it all. We're gonna go through the whole. We're gonna go through the movie and talk about it. But yes, Under Paris. So it starts out. We start with these people on this boat. Talks about how the animal. They talk about how the animals are dying from plastics in the ocean. I'm barely aware of that. Animals getting caught in nets, eating plastics, dying, bad for the economy. I'm understanding. I thought it was gonna be some Rescue the Sharks movie at first. Then they threw me for a loop. It was Rescue the People. But these four dudes go scuba diving, and we see a baby sperm caught up in a fish net, had plastics all inside of it, and a big, how do I say, shark bite on the side of it. And once I seen the shark bite, I'm like, y'all better get out. I don't know why they think they can. The whole with the sharks, they making it sound like they're rescue animals, or they're like trying to protect these sharks when y'all they're sharks. Like I get it, y'all not trying to kill animals and whatnot, but y'all want to get killed and be lunch food? I mean, you saw this big old bite. What do you think the shark gonna do to you? It's gonna swallow you whole and bite you in half. But anywho, this part didn't make sense to me. The very beginning when they went in there, they see the shark. They're chilling out, and I'm thinking, oh, like you got these sharks trained. They don't eat people, something like that. I don't know what I was thinking. But then sudden the dude stabs the shark on the side, and I was like, why did he do that? Is he like trying to lure it away? He just stabbed it, and his friends are even looking at him like, bruh, what are you doing? So the shark swims away and then comes back and munch, got one of them. Munch got the other. I'm like, dang, like it came quick. Their demise came with real quick. And this guy named Chris and Juan get got, and they up out of there. So this is a strange part. When this happens, the girl, Sophia, who's with them, she jumps in the water after them. I'm like, girl, what you gonna do against these sharks? Huh? Are you got some Aquaman powers that I don't know about? Can you talk to sharks? Can you feed the fish and, you know, make them uneat your friends. I don't know what she thought she had going on. She had some Wonder Woman complex going on in her head. He had this little spear, but she gets in there and you see Chris's hand pop up, or Kwan's hand. Somebody's hand pops up with the wedding ring on it. She at least should have grabbed the ring and saved it for the person back home. But she sees the shark. She shoots at the shark with this like harpoon thing or gun, and the shark gets caught up in this net, and it's going like 100 miles an hour. And I'm telling y'all, when this shark's going down, her ear pierces so quick. It's like so far underwater that the blood starts coming out of her ear. I was like, ooh, that looked painful. That reminded me of, if you haven't seen my review or the movie, check it out. Side of the Snow, when they're getting in the plane crash, and then all this little details that of injuries of them starts happening. Like this dude's ankles get rolled up on, and you hear the bones cracking, and you see the people's ears piercing that as well. So that's really kind of like giving you a feeling to it as well, because I felt that pain. But yeah, she gets caught underneath, and somehow she gets out of it, and it looks like she gets dragged hundreds of feet underwater, and somehow she gets back to the top, and blood's coming out of her mouth and everything, and then cut scene, and I was like, whoa, this movie's gonna be wild. But yes, then we get out of there, and we get to these people tossing or fishing in the river, and they're finding like junk and whatnot. And I guess that's relaying back to the fact that people are, the river in Paris is dilute or polluted and whatnot. And I thought it was like a bomb at first. I don't know what was going on. But oh yeah, before the whole movie's in French too. So you don't speak French, then you gotta have the subtitles on. But yeah, we get to the research lab of these sharks, and this girl. This is what I took from it, and I was kind of confused a little bit parts of it. But we get to the research lab of these sharks, and this girl wants to dive after the shark that got. I guess Sophia wants to dive into the shark after this car got pulled in the water, and the guy inside the car is nowhere to be found in the water, and so that's obvious. Like, oh, he's not there, and he didn't float to the top. He got eaten by a shark. Well, should be no sharks in Paris because sharks can't live in that kind of water. But why y'all trying to do this Scooby Doo investigation station? I was not trying to. I'm not with the whole like let's investigate something where people like where we have no power, which is underwater. We move way slower, and we could be eaten by a giant animal. We have pretty much no power. You have nothing, and that's what I took away from the very beginning. Before we get to the water, so I'll go through like the plot actually that I see on Wikipedia. It's like, so as they say, near the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, the marine researcher Sophia and her team search for Lilith, a tagged short fin mako shark. So I don't know why they named it Lilith. I thought the movie was going to be named Lilith, like that other movie was named Meg. I didn't see Meg, but I don't know. I don't know why they're searching for this shark either. They never really got into why they're searching for the shark. I think they kind of should add these details in, but I get Chris was her husband. I didn't know that. I didn't know. Maybe I missed that. I didn't know Chris was her husband. With Chris, Sam, Juan, and Tom, and they see the site of Mako's hunting in a pack, and they locate Lilith, who's grown a lot larger since last sighted, with the shark appearing non-aggressive. Sorry, not Chris attempts to take a blood sample from Lilith. I don't know why he tried to take a blood sample from a shark. That's like trying to take a blood sample from a gorilla. What you think gonna happen? You think you ain't gonna get tossed around like you in Planet of the Apes? I don't get it. It didn't make no sense. Like, why do you need a blood sample? Why do you need a blood sample? I mean, you're gonna study it, show your researchers, but why don't you catch the shark and then get a blood sample? You think you're gonna stab something in its own environment and it's not gonna retaliate? That didn't make any sense. But yes, the shark becomes entangled, or no, the shark snaps and kills him, Sam, Juan, and Tom. Lilith goes after them, and she gets entangled in a net, and she frees herself, but she suffers injury due to the pressure. So that was the beginning. Makes a little more sense with the description, but still, it was just kind of just nonsense. Sophia works at 3 years later. Sophia works at an aquarium in Paris. Not her favorite job because she used to be this high researcher, and now she's just like a tour guide basically at this aquarium. And Sophia informs that Lilith's tracking beacon is still active, and she's traveled from the Pacific and up the river scene, and is seemingly trapped in the city. So how does a shark? The thing is, like, we'll get there. We'll get there. How does a shark get trapped in this? It's just random. Like, oh, you're all in the Pacific, and now you're in Paris. Very unrealistic. So I'm not really having any shark phobias right now, especially being in New York. But it was just a lot of fantasy going on in here. But yes, trapped in the city. Okay. After a man is found dead with wounds from shark bites, police discover diver Adil recruits Sophia to help find and kill the shark. So Adil is part of the police. I'm pretty sure Sophia got a crush on this dude. It looks like they have some chemistry going on in this whole movie. But yeah, they go find the shark. But Mika and her girlfriend Ben. Oh, that they were dating. I didn't know that. Look, I didn't know they was dating, y'all. Mika and her girlfriend. Oh, I didn't know they was dating. I did not know that. Well, I, this is kind of like a lull part when you get to like the scientific part because these girls look young, and they're just trying to like be all in environmentalists and save the sharks and who cares if they kill people? They need to be in their own like stuff like that. I'm like, girl, shut up. These sharks are killing people. Get the sharks. I'll spare some other animals. Sharks, no, we ain't sparing those. She apparently ain't watched none of the prior movies. But yes, they go up. Sophia dives in. Uh, dives in to kill the shark. Essentially, that the plan was. But Mika and her girlfriend Ben turn off the beacon before they can do so and hope that they can rescue the shark. That was the silliest thing I've ever seen. They're trying to rescue the shark. How you gonna rescue the shark? They have no plans. They just trying to go, let it live so we can keep killing people and go crazy. No, no. They're the real enemies in this. They're the real problems because these people like that, they could look at themselves as the hero, but they're really just causing more problems than what's already going down. Crazy, crazy. But yes, they messed up the beacon, which kind of pissed me off. Sophia and Adil petitioned the mayor of Paris to postpone the upcoming triathlon. So the mayor's here. This mayor character. She's trying to have a triathlon. It's like it's typical government stuff going on here. They try to hide all the bad stuff that's going on. They try to act like it doesn't exist. They trying to act like they have the best interests of the people when really they just care about themselves and appearing to be great. Appearing. Base politics 101 at its finest. I mean, I guess if that's anything like how Paris is, and wow, that sucks for them too over there. Just like how, we got to deal with stuff over here in the States. But the politics in this effect, it's sad. It's just like, a lot of corporate companies, they try and make everything on the outside seem like it's running fine. I used to work for a corporate company. They used to do this exact same thing. Everyone would smile. The boss would be there. We have an event. Oh, everything's great. Like, you can have whatever you want. But really, it's a mess behind closed doors. The company's a mess. People are unhappy. Everyone's ready to quit. It's a lot going on. So that's basically what this reminded me of. It gave me PTSD of one of my old jobs. Craziness. But she wants to do this triathlon, which just cancel triathlon is to save your people. I think people would appreciate you being honest more than just trying to do this silly event because you want to be looked at as like heroic. Drop your ego, girl. A lot of bosses like you and people in charge don't want to drop her ego, and that was her demise. Let's take notes. There's lessons in this movie. I had to really dig deep to find lessons, but you got to look at individual characters and how each one of their cycles went. There's lessons. Curiosity killed the cat, aka the first four divers. I don't know if the guy was drunk and drove the car into the river, but just not drink and drive. We didn't ever see how his car got stuck in the river, so that was a mystery. Girls trying to, quote unquote, do the right thing and save the animals when really they just need to mind their own business. Mind your own business. But anywho, they tell the mayor about this triathlon. The mayor refuses to shut it down, emphasizing the event's importance for focusing on global attention on Paris during the run-up to the Olympic Games, which billions of euros have already been spent on. If anything crazy happens in Paris, the Olympics are about to start in a few weeks. If anything crazy happens in Paris before this movie comes out, or anything crazy happens in Paris during the Olympics, y'all, there's some really conspiracy things going on. And I'm going to pray nothing crazy like this happens. I don't think the whole city going to get flooded, but definitely is on some crazy settings. That's all I'm going to say, y'all. That's crazy settings. I didn't really put those two and two together watching it. I was like, okay. Because the thing is, it's in French, so it's like kind of you really got to focus on the subtitles as well, and unless you speak French. And so it's like I'm watching it and reading, watching it, reading. I don't like watching things with subtitles because I get distracted. But I had no choice. But yeah, she refused, and it's all about the money, 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 money. Sound like Mr. Krabs up in here. So Mika reveals Lilith's existence to the public and leads a group of supporters into the city's catacombs, which is like cave or underground tunnels, where the city's wastewater reservoirs are to find her. Ben tells Sophia of Mika's plan, and she and Adil team to head down to the catacombs to find them after reactivating Lilith's beacon. So these girls are just trouble. I don't. The thing is, they go down there like we're gonna trap him, okay, and then what? Are you gonna like sedate it? They just want to trap. I don't know what these girls' plans was. They never really edged out their full plan to me. I might have missed that part, but it just seems like they're trying to get the shark out to the salt water, back into the ocean, to Pacific Ocean. But I don't, they got to catch it, get it out of the water. But they really had no plan, or at least no plan was really said. And yeah, it was a hot mess. But we get I'm gonna get back to my thing. So we get back to we're in the little circle reservoir catacomb place, and it's this room. It looks like a video game boss level, and Mika gets in the middle of the damn water. It's like a circle with the water, and then everyone else is around it just watching, like we're in the olden days Olympics where they put people in like a ring and fight to the death type settings. Basically, it was a bull in a ring, but it was a shark. That's what gave images to me. What image it gave to me. And this is the crazy scene in the movie. This is a crazy scene. Probably one of the craziest scenes, I think, and this is probably the climax in my opinion. But yeah, so this girl's in the middle, and they see the shark circling her, and this guy, I think, Emil, what's his name? What's the guy's name? The new police boyfriend. What's his name? His name is Adil. Adil goes in after her, but she pushes him away, bites him or something. He can't get her, and then all of a sudden she gets in the middle, and then the shark just comes, whoosh, bonk, gets her. And this picture was so epic, I had to freeze frame it. This was the most epic. This was the similarity to Deep Blue Sea when they had that. It's very similar, and you can't go wrong with a picture like that. I mean, come on, y'all. Like, what's better than that? And it was epic, but the whole scene after that was chaos. Everyone's getting pushed in the water. Extra sharks come, and everyone's just getting bit up and lit up. I mean, if it's one shark down there, I really couldn't see, but if it was only one shark, just chunk, 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 chunk. I mean, 12 people died, and hella people got their limbs ripped off. It was pretty graphic. But this scene right here, I was just like, wow. They put a lot of brothers in this. A brother had to go away pretty bad, too, in the last death of the whole movie. It was horrible. I hate seeing that. He was about to get back to the end and grab to the shore, and then all of a sudden the shark just comes, swallows him on up. I was like, not the brother. Not the brother. But yes, very dramatic fashion. This whole scene was insane. But what the description is like Mika activates a pulse to lure Lilith to where her group has convened and swims out to the middle of the reservoir. Adil's team arrives just as Lilith appears with a juvenile shark. There was two sharks in it. It was definitely two sharks. It was a small one and an older one. Lilith's offspring. Mika refuses to hear warnings to get out the water, and she pets the juvenile shark. Lilith attacks and kills her, yes, causing a mass panic that leads to many injuries, 12 deaths, including that of Ben and Leopold, a police officer on Adil's team. And in the aftermath, Sophia and Adil find the juvenile shark dead, and after examining it, they discover that it has mutated to adapt to fresh water and that it is pregnant, though, through parthenogenesis. Through parthenogenesis is basically get pregnant without even mating. Crazy talk. I'm not familiar with that. I don't know how that works. I need to look at how that happens. Apparently parthenogenesis is the growth and development of embryo directly from an egg without need for fertilization. Parthenogenesis means development of Parthenogenesis occurs naturally in some plants, algae, invertebrate, and animal species, including nematodes, water fleas, scorpions, mites, bees, wasps, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and birds. Interesting. Very interesting. Wow, didn't know that. Um, and that if not caught, Lilith may give birth to more mutated offspring. The mayor, deflecting blame on herself, orders them to kill the shark, smiley smart, and still refuses to cancel the triathlon before being held in the river the following day. She takes a TV interview to them downplaying the danger. Selfish. She wants her cake and eat it too. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to pick one thing or the other. You can't do both. And she wants to do everything. So she gonna get what she deserve. And it was crazy. I mean, this is Jaws on steroids at this point with the way that these people are going out. I mean, at least on Jaws, they was moving a lot slower. And these sharks are moving like video game levels. You know, it's crazy in here. But yeah, they gave the brother the most dramatic death. People getting their limbs ripped off, and they get the shark. They find the shark. They get it, and the babies, like the larvae, pop out of the side. It was a little nasty looking, but yeah, it was wild. So they come up with a plan with the police to kill the sharks, and it's basically this long, elaborate thing of luring Lilith out the catacombs and blowing her up with some explosives, as they hope. But yes, so that's the plan, the best plan I guess you could think of. As the mayor declares the triathlon open and the swimmers take to the water, Adil's team, Carlo, Adama, Angeli, and Marcus, begin to execute the plan. Underwater, Sophia and Adil encounter a large school of juvenile sharks as they set up their trap. So this shark had hundreds of babies already. I don't know how old the shark is, but it had hundreds of babies. I was like shook. I was like, oh snap. It ain't looking too good. But yeah, the mayor, she said no expense spared. I need my image look. I need my makeup on, and I need to look popping. But y'all need to go into this water and take care of this business. Evil boss too. She got her as the evil boss, I think, and then the other the girl that died, and her girlfriend, as trying to save these sharks. And they should have killed it in the first chance they got, and not even tried to do all that action. They should have been lit up the shark when they were in the cave in the catacomb. And the thing is, when they were shooting at the shark, they were missing all the shots. Like they didn't shoot the shark once. They shot the baby shark, but the main shark they've been missing. I'm like, how y'all miss this big old shark? I know it's moving fast in the water, but y'all ain't bring no explosives, just throw in the water and blown. But I guess they can't do that because then they die too. So look, they didn't come prepared. If I was there, I would have brought something. Stun, powder, smoke, something. I don't know. Poison the whole river in a second. Nobody get in the water. I mean, you ain't got no water to drink, but look, we got other places. Cut the water off from here to here. Poison the water, everything in it. Clean it out, and we good. That's all you got to do. But hey. But yes, they devise the plan. They go in there and they see all the other sharks. And as soon as he's about to press the button to explode, the shark kills Packard, Bruti, and Adama before Adil sets the explosives off, seemingly destroying the school of young sharks and leaving the gigantic, why can't I say this word? Gigantic Lilith as the only survivor. So we don't see like the shark's dead or anything like that. They blow these explosives and everything just kind of just goes like psh. So I don't know why it says it assumed the sharks died when I was like, oh, they definitely all didn't die because we didn't really get to see the full impact of this explosion. Because I don't see how the people would survive, but the sharks wouldn't because these sharks can pretty much take bullets and whatnot. Yeah. Didn't make much sense to me either, but who knows? That was the plan. People was getting ripped to shreds in this plan. I was like, dang, like these sharks just molly-whopped, stomped out in the schoolyard these divers, and ugh, I ain't a scuba diver. I ain't doing that. I ain't never messing with no water animals like that. It's just not me. If I see anything, even a dolphin, I'm out the water. I'm not playing no games. So I'm surprised there was a lot of brothers and sisters agreeing to go into this water, y'all. Interesting. That's what they doing over in Paris. Interesting. But they get the explosives off, a few casualties, but Sophia goes back to see the main shark is still alive and well, and the shark is mad. I want to know why they named it Lilith, though. Interesting name. But yes, Lilith's the only survivor, and so when they get out into the main water, main river in Paris, Lilith capsizes the police boat, killing Caro and Marcus. Oh, tragic. They killed two people that I actually liked in the movie a lot. And And she heads towards the triathlon because she smells that clean, fresh blood. And she's like, "Oh, you killed all my babies? Well, let me go take care of something real quick. I'm gonna be right back. Stay where y'all at." And so the people try to swim after the shark for a second. I was like, y'all not gonna catch the shark. What you gonna do anyways if you swim after it? You can't box the shark. Like these people literally get in this water with no plan except this explosives. It just baffles me. Like they really think the shark not gonna touch them because they're humans. Stop it. But yeah, the shark's on its way. It's going like a jet ski all the way to the people, and you can see it a mile away. Like it's coming. And so when the people are out there swimming to go, they start the triathlon stupidly. They're in there. You just see one getting swallowed. Boom, 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 boom. And like the people in the water, like, do you not hear people screaming? Do you not hear what's going down? They just keep swimming like nothing. You can't feel nothing either. I mean, I've never done that I've never done a triathlon, and I know you got your adrenaline pumping and you're focused on yourself, but you got to hear somebody screaming. If I hear somebody scream for a second, I'm not thinking they're struggling in the water. I'm thinking like, oh, something's going down. But they don't expect a shark to be in these waters in Paris, this river Paris. But yeah, Lilith's out there snatching bodies, let the bodies hit the floor edition, and everyone sees this. The mayor and the spectators look shook in horror as several swimmers are attacked and killed. The military opened fire on Lilith despite warnings from Adil that there are live shells on the riverbed. So apparently, these shells are from like World War II, and they're what are they called? The shells are called as soon as the shells in the water, they hit the shells. I don't remember the name of the shells, but they hit the shells, and these shells, they're very they're high warning. You shoot these things and they bounce up and they touch the ground. They're basically like bombs essentially, and I think they're left over there from the war like many years ago, which I don't even know why they're down there in the first place. I really don't. I never got that. We never got that answer and whatnot, which was kind of head scratching. Are there really those in the river too? I'm wondering. Like, are those really there? I don't know. But yes, they opened fire, and the disturbance of the water from their gunfire and Lilith's movements caused the unexploded ordnance at the bottom of the river to shift and detonate, throwing Angeli, and many spectators into the water. The resulting chain or reaction of explosives destroys several bridges and creates a tsunami that entirely floods over the center of Paris. I mean, I was not expecting that. I thought it was like, okay, people like the water's like over flooded, but not every street is basically underwater. And that's where the whole under Paris comes from. Like Paris is underwater. It's done. Game over. And if you in the water and all them sharks, you can't even stay safe in your house because these sharks gonna knock down the door. So the only place you safe is maybe if you're in the Eiffel Tower. That might be the only safe spot. So I don't know. That was crazy. That was crazy. I didn't realize the tsunami would be that strong out of nowhere to flood the whole city. Because the thing is, Paris is in the center of the country. So even if you did have all this stuff going down and the water comes up like that, there's no way it could legitimately flood the city. That tsunami made really no sense to me. Because where did that excess water come from that would just sit there? It didn't make any sense. There's a lot of things in the movie that didn't really make sense, There was no explanation either. They just let things happen just to happen, I guess. But yes, everyone's basically dead at this point, it looks like. And Sophia and Adil are left stranded on the roof of a building in the middle of the flood, surrounded by Lilith and the juvenile sharks that have survived the explosions. These sharks, I'm telling you, I don't know. I thought these sharks were like man-made or something like that, or they were genetically altered. No, they just real like that. They just survivors, Destiny's Child edition. They just soul survivors like Young Jeezy. I mean, I literally thought they had some altered manufacturing the whole time, but I guess they're just real like that, and they built differently. And they didn't explain how the shark would grow that quick either. There's just not much explanation in this, and it was annoying. But yeah, it was a lot. They just said like just add just craziness, just to add it. No explanation, no reasoning, just add it. And at the end, credits suggest Lilith and her offspring have proliferated proliferated in the major cities of the world: Paris, London, New York, Bangkok, Venice, and Tokyo, and seemed to have Sophia feared and colonized the entire as Sophia feared and colonized the entire world. Sharks taking over the world, y'all. Really? Same ending as Little Shop of Horrors. The plants take over the world. So I've seen an ending like this before in a story, but not with some sharks. But I'm gonna go to Netflix to Doom real quick, and they're explaining the ending. And yeah, this is how we got here. So polluted seas and climate change have forced sharks to evolve at a rapid clip. Okay, anyways, we'll get to the ending. So we get to the ending and whatnot, and follow-up film. Will there be a sequel? No, follow-up film has not yet been announced, but according to director Xavier Gens, it's not off the table. As of today, we're not on it, but there's a chance we'll be discussing it soon. There's a sequel will take place in a Paris that's completely submerged into water. Okay. Are there actually sharks in the scene? No. Mako sharks need salt water to survive, obviously. And the scene is a freshwater river. The only reason Lilith made it out to the Pacific Ocean into the scene was through her ability to rapidly mutate through new environments, a skill she acquired to combat the effects of climate change. What? Who came up with this? That don't make no sense to me, y'all, at all. But yeah, that's pretty much Underwater in a nutshell. Um, what would I give this movie? The action was quality, but it didn't make sense. So I'd give it honestly like a 6.5 out of 10. It just didn't flow. Like it was semi enjoyable to watch. Like the action scenes and the sharks and whatnot, and it kept you on your toes. And the ending, I will say, was unpredictable. But and math just wasn't mathing. Like why was it able to mutate? Why did it decide to go to Paris out of all places? Why did they name it Lilith? Like all these questions I have, didn't have the answers to, and I couldn't get the answers in. I just couldn't make it make sense. So, yeah. But take it a watch. Give it a watch for yourselves. Let me know what you think about the movie, and yeah, yo, I think you're in for a treat when you watch this. But appreciate y'all for joining me of this Under Paris recap. I wish I could go to Paris for the Olympics this summer. I was in Paris last summer. It's lit, but if you ain't been to Paris, go check it out, y'all. Shout out the USA Olympic teams for going in there, hopefully taking golds, most golds, as they probably will. And we out here, y'all. Till next time, peace, blessings. Thank you for joining me, and have a wonderful rest of your